Hey, Eli here. Today I'm going to do an unboxing and kind of first time use of the X Lark sharpening system. It is a sharpening system off Amazon. I paid $109 for it with the extra sharpening stones. So I've got an extra box of sharpening stones here. And we're going to bust this thing out, put it together. If it's really boring and slow, I'll just fast forward everything for you. So toss some boxes out of the way. So we've got our extra sharpening stones over here. Instruction manual, and start pulling things out as we go. So as I'm taking this out, I have owned the Wicked Edge Gen 3 Pro, the really big system, and I just didn't like the fact that they had proprietary stones and they didn't last that long. So I switched over to a motorized system, a 1x30-inch belt from Harbor Freight. And then I upgraded from that to the 1x30 that I'm currently using, which I'll link in the description. And I just wanted to get something that was a little more precise and allowed me to work on some knives that cost a little bit more money than I want to throw on a guided or a powered system, so I don't ruin anything. So, all right, we've got our guide right here. Everything's packed pretty well. And a bunch of stones, it looks like right there. So, and our clamps. Okay. So, usually I just do without instructions, but you know what? They look pretty basic. So, pull them out. Just look at everything here. See what we've got going on. It's like we just place this guide arm through here. Okay. And that goes into here, and this is adjustable so that you can set the height of your stones if you're using different stones and you want to keep your angle. And we're going to screw these two pieces together. Pretty basic. Okay, set those aside, and it looks like we just take these, pull out the existing screws that are in here, and these slide on. Yeah, they just sit on there. So we can tighten those up. I'm assuming most of the time I'm going to use this at its minimum, so we'll just start there. And then we can pull out this part here, release this lever here on one side. Show it to you. So if we release this lever, we can flip the whole system. And put the other side on. Oh, and I put it in upside down. Lovely. That should be easy fix, but there are screws on top for tightening. All right, so if you've never seen this type of system, basically my understanding of how it works is there is a guide on one side here, we can see. Coffee there. We can see that we can go up and down if we turn this dial on this side. So we're going to go up and down an angle. Okay. And then, looks like if we turn this over, there's a lever on this side. So up and down with this, set the angle here. And it's got kind of a, like somewhat of a guide on this side as to what you're doing, you know, your angles in here. But I did purchase the Klein angle finder. So I'm going to open that up. I've got a Benchmade that I'm going to sharpen today. This is the Crooked River, the original, the large. It's getting a little dull, and so all I've been doing is just kind of running it on my strop, on my power strap. So kind of want to set the angle today. And generally what I would do is I would get a Sharpie or just a dry erase marker, and I would kind of find that angle based off of just rubbing the finest stone on it and seeing what that angle starts to rub off at. Or I can set the angle here if we want. So, let this open. Hopefully it comes with batteries. All right. Okay. Comes with batteries and they're in the bag. So I'm going to throw those batteries in here in a second. But for now, we're not going to use this. But what we would do is we would set the angle, zero it out on the knife. Okay. We'd zero it out on the knife, and then we could set it on here. And then it's magnetic. Let's see if anything here is metal. Wow. All right. So the stones themselves are metal. So we could put the stones in, and then we'll set the angle that way. But that's how I would do it. So anyway. So what we've got in this kit, we've got screws. Will come with if you want to screw this to your table, which I'm not going to do. I would just clamp it if I needed to, but I don't think I need to. You get an Allen to tighten down your blade. You get, with the kit, the original kit, you get, looks like 320, 2,000, and 800 on the grits. And then I did the extra stones, which would get another 180, 400, 800, 1,500, 2,000, and 3,000. So we've got all those options. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start out with let's start out with 2,000. So we'll grab that to find our angle. I'm going to grab a Sharpie, a bare back. So what I'll do is to find my angle, I'll just take a Sharpie or a dry erase. I'm going to draw a line just down at the bevel, the edge. And this will allow me to find that angle. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to place the knife in the clamps. So find our best way we could find the center, and we're going to angle it a little bit so that we have a clean motion for the most part. And it looks like I'm probably going to get the back of the knife by the thumb stud right here pretty well. And then barely on the tip with the second one. So if you wanted, you could tape these up. If this knife is pretty beat up, so I'm not too concerned, but we could tape up the knife if we wanted. And so we're going to clamp that side as well. Both sides are clamped on there pretty dang tight. Yeah, I can basically pick the knife up, or pick the whole thing up with the knife. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to place our stone on here. So we're going to pull down here, and it's beveled. So we're going to place the stone in one end, and we'll pull back. And there's a lot of tension, which I'm liking. It's like only one side's beveled. Interesting. So the stone, these stones in particular, only have one side beveled. Not sure why that is, but it still clamps in pretty good. See if the other stones are the same. The other stones have both sides beveled, but whatever. Still working. Okay, then we can tighten this here just to secure it if we want. And it looks like this end also tightens down to hold that in. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to try and find really kind of eyeball it here. All right, so I've got the 2,000 grit on here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this one here just to give me a nice idea of where my angle is already. And so I can see where it's hitting on the bevel, where it's sharpened. And then see if I can fine tune this to hit exactly where, or close to what it currently is, which I'm finding right about there. So then I'll lock that off. Okay. And then I'm going to change out to, I'm going to go with, let's see, probably the 800 grit stone. And I'm going to switch over to these other stones because they are beveled on both sides, which makes me feel a little more comfortable to use. So let's go with 800, and then we'll step up to 1,400. And I need another knife. I'll be back. Okay, so these come plastic wrapped, and they are in there. So get these open. Okay, so the stones that come in the extra pack are plastic on the back. Let's see if they still have any metal in them. There's still a little metal in there, and so they are somewhat magnetic, but yeah, they are beveled on both sides, which I prefer. So, all right, we're going to drop this in and start sharpening. Yeah, that's a nice seat. Okay, and then we can tighten it up. And then what we're going to do is just going to run down and just see how things are looking. And this is a pretty rough grit, but it's been a while since I've sharpened this knife. So, and we're just going to be real careful around the tip there. I'm going to bring this over towards myself. I can see that the tip here needs a little more work. That Sharpie's still on parts of it, but it's going pretty quick. And I'm new to the system, but I am trying to keep from the front to the back so that I get a long motion. And as I get towards the ends, I'm going to try and do one full motion. But for now, I'm just kind of feeling how it works, how it looks. And I never want to roll off the tip. I want to kind of stop at the tip so I'm not destroying it. Okay, and I'm going to flip this around to see how things are looking. Hopefully we're starting to get a little bit of a, yeah, definitely a burr on this side, a little less over here. Well, Probably should have went the other way. Okay, and it's going to continue on this side. Yeah, it's looking good. This side's been a little destroyed by me using a 1x30" belt and not being that good at it, but it's coming together. One thing I do love is there's a nice big guard on here, so I feel pretty confident and I'm not going to hurt myself. I know a lot of people have purchased the stops from TS Prof because they make them for rods, so you could have it end at the end of here and stop, and then as you come back, stop at the front, so you're using the full width of the stone with a little more confidence. Yeah, then you don't come off and hit the blade and dull it. Yeah, coming together pretty good. The tip just needs a little more work, but go back to the other side to see how it's looking. And I know a lot of people have talked about buying the TS Prof jaws for the smaller knives that come to 1 because it's the same mounting system. So that's something I'll probably pick up because this is a large knife and it's kind of hit its with the thumbs or the what do you call this thing? Thumb stud. It's kind of hitting and can't get much more of the jaws on there. Okay, all right, I'm going to step it up. I'm going to go to the next one up would be 1500 grit. And I would recommend between stones, wiping it off so you don't get extra grit on the other stone. I'll grab something to do that with. Okay. All right, we are on to 1500 grit. Still feels like it's biting pretty good. Okay, I can start to feel that there's less resistance, and so I'm going to go switch to the other side. Cool. Feeling pretty good. All right, I'm going to wipe it off. And flip it back over. All in all, the system feels pretty dang solid. Yeah, pretty sturdy. And we're going to go up to, what will be the next one? Good here. Go 2000 grit. Yeah, this wrapping is tough. Okay. All right, next up, 2000 grit. And for fun, might as well just take it to 3000 after that. So, loosen it up. Pop that out, and there is a lot of tension on that spring, which is great. All right, we're going to 2000. And I probably didn't need to flip this over. Could have started from the other side, but I did want to get it cleaned off. So I'm gonna go tail to tip. And I can feel it biting pretty good. Now it's looking great. Okay, I'm gonna flip it. And I'm just doing strokes because this knife, you know, I'm not too concerned about. It's a beater knife. It's big, it's been awesome, but yeah. Yeah, that's feeling great. Man, I don't even know if I need to go to 3000. Yeah, I might call it good there. And I'm gonna strop it just to clean that bevel off and see what happens. So, go grab my strop. And what I've got here is just a $20 strop from Amazon. It is called Sharpening. Sharpening. I'll put a link in the description. So we're going to flip this back so we can remove it from the jaws. And the system's pretty compact. So if I want to take this hunting, all my buddies, we could sharpen our knives while we're out there because it gets dark at 4:30 and that's when the day ends. Oh, yeah, there's some tension on these claws, which is great. So it does tighten up nicely. All right, just going to give this a little bit of stropping. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. We got to post it. Not bad. Yeah. Ooh, nice and sharp. Man, Might even take some hair off. Let's see if I can get this sweater back. And yeah, it's not hair popping, but we could get there if we wanted to keep going. But plenty sharp for a hard use knife. And I'm gonna start putting some other knives on this, like Jack Wolf and stuff like that, just because I want to make sure I've got a precision sharpener, and I don't want to be just taking it to a big belt. But looks great. Bevel is, yeah, pretty much perfect on there with that guided system. I could do some more work on the tip, really get that dialed in. But for what I use this knife for, really just beating up stuff, almost like construction now and again, and have cleaned an animal with this, a deer. But yeah, cool. I like this system a lot. It's really cool. It's 109 bucks, which is a pretty darn good deal for everything that you get here. So I might purchase those jaws, which is going to probably double the price of the system. I think they're like 75 bucks. And then those little clamps are like $10 each. So if I purchase all that at once, I'm probably looking at like somewhere around $80 or $90 in addition in parts. And I did get the angle finder, but I just couldn't figure out how to get these dialed in to work with each other. So I'll figure that out later. For now, just use a Sharpie and find your angle, or any dry erase marker. You can see where it's wearing off, and it's pretty easy to find that angle. So, and it is always good if possible to keep a record of what you set your knives at if you're going to use them a lot. So I know that this is one notch above whatever that middle one is. So some of these do, these ones don't, but some other systems out there have degrees on them, which could help with a log system. And then if you find that you're using a bunch of different stones that are different depths, these are all pretty much the same right now because they're new. You can set this angle based off of your stone. So you could set your stone in here and set that depth and then tighten it up. I say that, tighten it up. And then okay, this is that stone's angle. So every time you change a stone, you're gonna have to reset that in there. Because actually these are a little different. So yeah, so you might get some slightly minute differences with these different grits. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully this is helpful. Just a little quick review on it and let you know that it works and it's a good buy. Can't really beat the price. So thanks. See you.